Hi, I'm Tony Preckwinkle, President of the Cook County Board of Commissioners, and this is Transportation Tuesday. My guest, of course, is John Yonan, our Superintendent of the Department of Transportation and Highways, and we're talking today about Lake Cook Road, oddly enough, the divider between Lake and Cook County. Superintendent.
Hi, good afternoon, Madam President. Very excited about this opportunity to talk about one of the largest construction projects that is being undertaken under your leadership here at the county. We're adding a lane in each direction, increasing the capacity, the throughput through this corridor from 4 lanes to 6 lanes. And
so 3 lanes in each direction, east-west.
3 lanes in each direction, correct. And it's going to be a 2-year project. It's going to go over 2 construction seasons and hopefully be completed by the end of next year.
Okay, well, Lake Cook Road has quite a length. What part are we kind of fixing? What are we doing?
So this stretch, as you mentioned, it's right on the border of Lake County, but some of the improvements are actually going to be taking place in Lake County. So through our collaborative effort with not only Lake County, but the villages of Buffalo Grove and Wheeling, building the roadway roughly from Route to Hastings Road. It's about a 1.5 mile stretch. And again, adding a lane in each direction for the 40,000 vehicles that travel through this corridor.
What does this mean to the communities that are impacted?
Yeah, so obviously with a project like this, want to make sure that we have as much community input as possible. So when we look at ways that we view our infrastructure and when it comes to the end of its useful life, many instances you'll go out and you'll resurface a road, repave a road, but there's things that go into the decision making on, we had mentioned about adding a lane to this roadway corridor. Well, why would you do that? Is it based on traffic volumes? Well, no, working closely with the community, what we found is through this corridor, there is a number of accidents that were taking place. Accidents that, based on the nature of the type of accident, give the engineers an idea of what maybe would be a possible mitigation to those. And so first and foremost, side angle type accidents were happening, and that usually is a sign that the merging is a challenge through the area.
So that's left turns and right turns?
Angular is on the turning movement or a merging type effort. And then another reason for those angular is the right and left turn lane, as you mentioned, coming in and out of some of the strip malls that were designed years ago for maybe a simple supermarket, but has grown in the 70s and 80s to have various businesses, and that traffic dumping out onto a major thoroughfare like Lake Cook did provide, again, ways that accidents were taking place. That we looked at all that and said that we wanted to make sure we reconfigured some of those driveways to today's design standards.
Okay, so this is a commercial roadway. Mm-hmm. Lots of activity,
yes.
Lots of retail activity along the roadway.
Yes.
So traffic coming in and out of strip malls.
Yes.
All right, and that presented a challenge as well as the turning.
The turning movements, just based on the volumes, and for many instances the entrance and exits to the really any either strip mall or a business. Today's design standards, we're able to design medians that prevent, let's say, for instance, a left turn. A number of improvements through this corridor are going to prevent that type of left turn movement because it's easier just to have a right turn, merge into traffic, safer and more convenient for exiting out of the parking lots themselves.
Okay, so you reduce accidents by putting a median in the roadway to prevent left turns.
That's correct.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. We're getting support from the communities Buffalo Grove and Wheeling. Where else is the money coming from?
So this particular project, even though the irony of adding a lane makes it eligible for congestion mitigation air quality funds. So that is a federally funded competitive grant that we were successful in securing some funds. Why? Because we are going to relieve some of the congestion through this corridor. Again, 6 lanes merging down to 4 creates that kind of congestion, air quality conditions that adding a lane are going to improve. So it made it highly ranked for that type of competitive grant. And so we're going to be receiving roughly $22 million from the Federal Highway Administration and another $6 million from some of the local partners, the villages and Lake County, that's also going to be participating in the project.
All right, so 22 and 6 is 28, and it's a $58 million project. That means the
Yes.
county's kicking in $30 million, is that the deal?
That is definitely the price tag for, again, a mile and a half of a very, congested roadway that is a great value. We continue to thank you, Madam President, for your leadership. 2017, as we stopped the lawful, diversion of motor fuel tax to public safety, to make projects like this a priority, and the project is funded, and we're doing pretty good with our program right now.
So let me just clarify this for our viewers. It was previously the practice of our county and many other municipalities, right?
Yes.
Units of government, to take money that was motor fuel tax money and use it for public safety purposes rather than infrastructure, right?
Yes.
And we decided that we weren't going to do that anymore, that we'd put all those resources into infrastructure.
No.
Why was that decision made?
So the decision, obviously, like a lot of public works or, units of government, we're all crying for funding for infrastructure, but the revenue sources associated with that have been very difficult overall. Nobody wants to increase the taxes for exclusive transportation investments, and so that decision was a very bold one, that we have to make these investments because roadways, infrastructure, transportation, because of your long-range transportation plan, really made folks understand that transportation is about investing in communities and economic development. And so those kinds of messages were really, in our effort of our long-range transportation plan, truly understood by the various municipalities in Cook County. And so we began to get folks who understood that our road infrastructure, in many instances like this, is Main Street Buffalo Grove. It's Main Street Wheeling. And so we needed to make sure that we were making these kind of investments, and the communities understood that. And we really believe that, again, nobody wants to see additional taxes, but sure enough, the state did in 2019 go ahead and double the gas tax. And that is where, again, we believe years prior, we were making transportation relevant for community and economic development to our municipalities here in Cook County.
So basically, our focus changed from focusing on transportation in a narrow sense to a broader sense, thinking of it in terms of community and economic development.
That's right.
Supporting community and economic development.
That's correct, yes. And also looking at opportunities in this corridor for, transit, ride share. It's a very, heavy business area that's close to some of the homes, but our number one policy priority, as much as we focused on transit and multimodal, this stretch, mile and a half stretch, is also going to be adding sidewalks, ADA compliant curb ramps, and as you can see from the aerial here, it's really nearby a number of subdivisions that are now going to have a walkable type of experience, a safe walkable experience to go to the bank, to grocery stores, and places of entertainment. And it's all because of, again, adding in our partnership some of the sidewalks and encouraging that type of transportation alternative.
Okay, John, we've talked a lot about this Lake Hook Road project. When is it going to wrap up?
So this project is scheduled to wrap up next year at the end of the construction season 2021.
All right, anything you want to say in conclusion about this project?
Well, the project, as I said, is going to be a couple years, and we look forward in Transportation Tuesdays to continue to show you the project progression. It is very complex, and it's going to require a lot of patience from some folks out there, and so we're just very happy that, again, the project is on time, on schedule, and very happy to be able to talk some more about this in the future.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us for another Transportation Tuesday. We're grateful that you are sharing your time with us, and we want to encourage you to look at connectingcookcounty.org. That's connectingcookcounty.org to see more about what our Department of Transportation and Highways is doing. Thank you.